Hey, this is Charles Calhoun, aka the Shadetree Pro. Now, what I want to do here is I'm going to talk a little bit about the golf swing. And what I'm going to talk about is this, is that we all spend a lot of time trying to analyze the best golf swings. But let's take a moment and get a better understanding of the worst golf swings. Now, I made a comment one time, and I've actually told Charles Barkley. I said that I could fix his golf swing. And I said because it's more about knowledge than what he's doing wrong. So I gave him a card. Haven't heard from him yet. But anyway, I'm still going to tell you how I would fix his golf swing and where knowledge comes in. See, before you can swing, first you have to, like I'm arguing now, you have to have all the variables. Now, if you take a look at my little skeleton over here, this is GW. And the thing is this, you'll notice that in the orange, that's his legs. You notice it's still here in the white area with the little pink on it or whatever. That's his body. And you notice up here in the green, in a sense, it's the shoulder area with your arms and hands. Well, the thing is this, is that I break the body down, not just the upper and lower body. I actually break it down into 3 sections in which it can move. I call this the shoulder girdle, which is the upper body. From here down to the pelvis is the middle body. And from the femoral heads down to the ankle, and I didn't say feet, down to the ankle, is the lower body. Why this is significant is that when you go to make a golf swing, you have to understand that it is the upper body that's turning around the middle body, while the lower body here stabilizes this action. But the problem with Charles Barkley and many others out there golfing, see, they only see the body as the upper and the lower. They don't see it as the middle body. But every single movement that we make, and whether it's golf swing, walk-in, talk, whatever, everything works off the middle body. And see, once you understand that, then fixing a golf swing or understanding how to swing becomes a little more of a simpler task. And more importantly, it opens up a door for new thinking, new ideals. Because in golf, we're constantly doing the same things over and over, expecting different results. Just because someone says it's different, if it doesn't match up with what the body's doing, it's not going to change anything. So the way that I would fix Charles, first and foremost, I would just explain to him when he's swinging his arms and moving his shoulders, what are they swinging around? I mean, that's just not that hard. You got rotator cuff muscles that's back there. So if I'm sitting here right now, like I'm doing here, and I hope y'all like my little bear here. My father-in-law made this. This is pretty cool. It's like kind of where I sit and think and hang out with the bear sometimes. But if I'm sitting here and my body's forward, now when I rotate this around here, now my sternum, I feel my sternum still pointing there, but my shoulders are turned around my body. I'm not worried about my hips, which has always been talked about. I mean, I'm not a big proponent of the hips because I know how they move, but they're more of a supporting role that allows you to create speed in the upper body. And as you notice here, I'm looking forward and I'm still turning my shoulders. And my shoulders are turning around my upper body. And see, that's important because that's how, quote unquote, you swing the arms and shoulders and all of it up top. The biggest mistake people don't understand, they think that the arms, that the shoulder sockets are stuck into, quote unquote, the body. But if you notice here on G-Dub, that the shoulder sockets attach to the scapula. And the scapula moves on the backside of the body. They don't move into the body. Then you connect right here with the collarbone. It's like putting on a pair of shoulder pads, and if any of you play football, you understand putting on a pair of shoulder pads, and you know how you spin the shoulder pads around. Well, that's kind of similar to how this moves, but because the connection here with the collarbone, it kind of has its limits as far as where it can go. But still yet, it rotates around it. Now, I'm going to show you something here. I've got my daughter videotaping me on this. But I'm going to show you something here of what I'm talking about in the golf swing. Now, the biggest problem that Charles Barkley has is when he's making his golf swing and he's coming down, and y'all all saw this. I mean, he's a big dude, and he can't really move this. So he's trying to get that turned out of the way, and that's what's got him stuck. Because he can't get down there, and then all of a sudden he's trying to push it over and trying to push it over, and then all of a sudden he flips it, gets it through. But the problem is, if Charles would understand, and I'm talking Charles because my name's Charles, so you have to get that. But if Charles would understand that when he got to the top of his golf swing, and he has to get a better understanding of the grip, but when he got to the top of his golf swing, if he knew that the body stays still, and all he has to do is swing the upper body around the middle body while the lower body stabilizes, it makes releasing the club easy. It's more like this. And you notice I'm not doing all this turning my hips out, because see, you don't have to do that in the golf, because believe it or not, when we're walking, this is not a natural motion. But when we go to walk, our hips, as I call it, the pelvis, middle body, going back, see, that's natural. This right here, that ain't natural when we're walking. Sorry, but it's the truth. Because see, the reason being is now when I'm up here, and all I said is this is stabilizing, like in my video that I talk about the magic move, all I'm doing is clearing space so I can bring this through. And I'm swinging. I'm not trying to make all this do that. All I'm doing from here is doing the most important thing that separates every tour player, in a sense, from your average everyday player. They just know how to release the golf club. And all you're doing in the golf swing is trying to get yourself in a position to release the golf club. And that's it. Because you got to get from one side of the body to the next. And the thing is, there is an absolute way that the club releases. You just got to know what it is. I'm not going to give that one away for free, but that's another story. But anyway, like I said, for me to conclude here, if you take a look at how I got it all this broken down, there's an upper body, there's a middle body, and there's a lower body. The upper body turns around the middle body while the lower body stabilizes. Hey, this is Charles Calhoun, aka the Shadetree Pro, and I've just talked to you about how to fix Charles Barkley. Anybody want to get with me? Want to hear some more good knowledge? Hey, just check me out on ShadeTreePro.com, or go to my YouTube page. And again, another important part that I'm saying, that I also talk about in my book that I wrote, is once you understand all the variables, once you have an idea of the variables and what's working and how they work, you can quickly, and I mean this, you can quickly get a better understanding of how not only to make a golf swing, but how to make any type of athletic endeavor. Once again, Charles Calhoun, aka the Shadetree Pro, and always good golf.